Hey, welcome, everybody. Hey, Haitian Queen, how you doing? Welcome to Politics and Wellness. I am Captivating Christian, and today you guys will be my co-host, so welcome. We have a lot to talk about, a little bit of time, because I want to make sure that everybody is tuned in to day 2 of the DNC convention. So without further ado, let's get started. Um, let's just start with the news that just broke. Um, of course, those of you familiar with the Sweetie Pie's own network television show, it seems that Tim, the son of Miss Robbie, uh, and brother to the oldest son that was killed, I believe, in jail or something like that, and his nephew, who was also murdered, which was very hard on Miss Robbie and the family. It seems that Tim has been charged in the conspiracy of his death for insurance money. It's just so crazy, and having experienced something similar in some regards as far as insurance money and people feeling some type of way. Um, Money makes people do crazy things and destructive things. So, and that's crazy because of all the money that his mother has acquired from her years running her restaurant. You would think that would be enough, even when she, was very hard on him about spending the money and opening up different franchises, because she wanted to make sure he was making smart decisions with the money and not just careless decisions. But I guess he found a way to uh, obtain some money himself. This is, if it all, of course, turns out to be completely true, this is a definite blow, definitely to her, because she loved her son and she really loved her grandson, because that was her only connection to her oldest son. Um, and she wanted the best for him. She pushed him to go to school and finish and get his college diploma. She wanted him to get into the business. As far as Sweetie Pies was concerned, that really wasn't his thing. He was more into music and rapping and other stuff like that. But she was trying to do anything she could to help. And the fact that over $400,000 in an insurance policy was enough for you to turn on your own flesh and blood, I think is absolutely ridiculous. But it doesn't surprise me. Again, in a situation dealing with that, and people feeling like they should have received more than what they got, and that you shouldn't have gotten what you got, and all that. I totally understand. I don't get involved. All paperwork and stuff goes straight to the lawyer. The lawyer handles it. I don't visit nobody. I don't do none of that because I don't know what people have planned. And that's sad that we even have to think that way. That you even have to be worried about somebody secretly having some sort of insurance policy out on you, and then some kind of murderistic plot to cash in on that is devastating. It is truly devastating. And as much as she fought with him back and forth about his decision, she relied on him. And this, man, I don't even know what to say. That's just wow. I don't have the words at all. But anyway, welcome everybody. Welcome to the room. Hey, what's up? Tate, what's up? Patty Duke, how you doing? How you doing, Tanari K? Nice to see you. Did I miss anybody? No. And everybody up in the skybox, hello. Please hit that thumbs up button, please. Thank you, while you're watching from the balcony. But anyway, yeah, that is devastating news. Prayers go out to Miss Robbie and the rest of her family. Um, you know, you hate to have that mindset of once a criminal, always a criminal, but I guess you never lose that kind of mindset. I don't know. I don't even know what to say with all the opportunities he was afforded, even coming out of prison, and the kind of impact he would claim he was trying to make for people, to give them a second and third chance in life, even those who were incarcerated like himself, giving them jobs to work at the restaurant, so on and so forth. So I don't know. It's totally it's really bad, and especially when I think back, because I was an avid watcher of the show, and he took his mother to where the boy was shot, and shared with her kind of last minute conversation that they had. And if he orchestrated all that, that was just really cold hearted. And there's nothing more I has any questions, comments, or concerns, you can leave them in the chat. I'll also drop this link. So if you want to come up and share, you can. But be mindful. I'm just trying to make sure that we finish this in time so everybody can shoot over to where you watch the convention yourself and get a watch. Now, let's dive into this Democratic convention, day one. I know I'm a little late, but I like for everybody to kind of, everybody has their own view and they're entitled, and it is what it is. But day one for me, I'm not gonna lie, the beginning was a bit boring because I had to train myself to watch it visually. I'm used to the fanfare of the crowd and all that. So it took and I've been to two, but so it took a bit getting used to this whole virtual thing and only seeing the actress, I forgot her name, but seeing her, up there kind of like, okay, they didn't have somebody else to like co-host with you or bounce off with you or something. It was a bit different, but nonetheless, once it started rolling, I started to be like, oh, okay, I think I can do this. The song choices, I don't know. It was just too. To me, it was like too kumbaya. Let's peace, hold hands, and sing kumbaya and all that kind of stuff. And right now, it's like I need a little more like let's get to business, like on the attack. Now, don't get me wrong, the speakers and stuff were definitely full of, well, some was definitely on the attack of basically talking about the shortcomings of this current president and the lack thereof of empathy and sympathy and so on and so forth, which was all great. I did like the young lady who spoke about her father, who was a Trump supporter, and he put all his faith in Trump. Regardless of what Trump said, he followed through, even when they took down the restrictions for people going to public places. He was all for it. And as the story goes, he was in a karaoke bar in Arizona and wind up contracting the coronavirus. 5 days later, he wind up passing. So, that can take a toll on a family, and I think it's very important that we understand that, and hopefully people in his administration and people listening understood that podium, although we look at it lightly now because of the person who stands on it, but that podium is important. People really listen to the voice of that podium. So we have to make sure that, we just don't vote to just vote, that you vote really with the intent of whomever you want behind that podium has a sound voice, has a clarity of mind, is able to lead. All these things are very important because there are people that follow through. If you say do this, they do that. And it's unfortunate to some degree, because it is. You had the couple that took the hydrochloroquine, but it was a different form that they used for their fish tank. And one of, I think it was the husband died and the wife was in critical condition. So people do listen. You know what I'm saying? It's not as if everybody looks at this current president and goes, oh, he's such a fool, forget about it. They listened to him, and she wound up losing her father to him. And, you know, her, and I quote, she said that her father in his last hours or so felt betrayed by Trump and everyone around him. But at the end of the day, too, you put a lot of faith in that man too, without knowing fully what he was capable of. Only what was fed to you as fanfare, that he was a big businessman, that he could really take the country in direction. But if you really did your research and followed his own business practice, you would kind of say to yourself, well, hell, how can you run a country if everything you touched, and I mean everything other than selling his own name on, slapping on stuff, everything he's done has failed. So how can you run a country? No, he just wanted to be like, it's almost as if the United States is a vault, right? He just wanted to be the person with the number to open it up and take as much money and give as much money as he wanted to whomever he felt deserved it, and move right along. And that's exactly what he's doing. So at this point, I mean, Michelle Obama couldn't have said it any better. And to be very clear, she didn't cut no corners. She didn't really, I mean, she spoke to you just as regular as she could. She told you she hates politics, which she does. And she said it, she's written it. She said it a million times. She'll say it again. She does not like it. She supports her husband, but she doesn't like it. So in that, you're just looking at a woman who is concerned about her own family, her daughters, and seeing the country go into a place where in which she's even scared for her own family, like the rest of us. As you know, as we look at this and the numbers of coronavirus grow, the infection rate, we're almost at 4.5 million people. We're at deaths almost reaching 200,000 and climbing almost just about. It's starting to get a bit like, what are we doing? Is this the type of place that we want to live in, to give him 4 more years to do what? If he hasn't gotten it right now, we don't have time for him to get 4 more years to kind of figure it out. It's not the time. Now is the time to, all right, cool, you tried it. You're just not the man for the job. And that's okay. That's okay. You're just not the man for the job. Personally, you never were. But he knew that. He knew that. But he was just so, his hatred, you know, and the rest of the country's hatred, let's be very clear, his hatred, along with the rest of the country's hatred, was enough to fuel him forward. He wasn't thinking about being president. He was just thinking about demolishing the man who made fun of him at a correspondence dinner with a joke about a television show he stars in. That's all it was. But because you were such filled with hatred, because how dare this black man talk to you like that? You know, the rest of your, you know, don't let him talk to you like that, got in his head, and he took it further. He wasn't expecting to be president. Let's be clear. He never expected to be president. He didn't expect to win because he thought people were not going to vote for him. He was just going to do it to put his name out there, as he always does, to sell his name and branch further. Do something in Russia, or start a network like a CNN or a Fox News, and start his own network to trash other media outlets and trash politicians and other things like that. I'm sure that's all he really wanted to do. He was not trying to do nothing else. But lo and behold, he wins. Why? Because a lot of us said, well, I don't trust Hillary, or a woman can't be president, or I don't feel the woman has a temperament to be president, so on and so forth, or I don't trust her, or what about the emails, or she was married to Bill and Bill did this and Bill did that. And yeah, Bill did do some things. He did. There is no doubt about it. He did. He was up against an incumbent president who was guaranteed to win re-election. Why? Because we just fought a Gulf War and won. So pretty much everybody was rooting and tooting for this man. However, one thing that Bush Sr. was against was this idea of building more prisons and mass incarceration for a bit. Like, parts of it, he just wasn't with all of it, right? He wanted it tweaked a bit. A lot of Republicans and some Democrats said, nope, the way the country is right now, the heat, the crime rate, all that. No, hey, we got to do something. We can't just let this go. And he was like, hey, no, let's take a step back and really, look at this first before we go forward. No, they didn't want to hear that. So they talked to Bill, said, hey, if you push for this crime bill that we're trying to push, we will get you in. That's just how it happened. Nobody knew who knew of this man from Arkansas, governor of Arkansas. No one. And yeah, he played it too. He was on the City Hall show playing the saxophone. And, this one's hip. Oh, he said, because no other president has really done that. They've always been very uptight a little bit, standoffish, especially in dealing with, media at that time, especially, anything black media. There's never really been anything of that kind. So here comes Bill Clinton on the Arsenio Hall show, which happened to be a very popular show at the time, playing the saxophone with shades on. Oh, that's all he needed. He had the black vote from then on, and it was like, regardless of the fact that he created the welfare program, he created, more prisons, and all this stuff. So granted, when we, talk about politicians and their records, know that they've all done things that may not have been so favorable, but there was a reason to where in which they did it. Now, whether it helped him get elected or whatever the reason, he got elected. So he's in office. There's Hillary. There's, all that stuff that happened with them and their situation. But we don't know if she was maybe in office, if she would have atoned for that, changed it around, made something different. We don't know, because we, a lot of us just assumed, oh, I'm not sure, I don't like her, blah, blah, blah. She's a woman, whatever. So now we have this guy, all right, who clearly doesn't care about anything. Most he cares about, if he thinks he can give you some kind of money of anything, any stimulus, any kind of money, to where in which you'll look at it and go, hey, ooh, thank you for that extra $1,000. Now I'm gonna go vote for you. That's what he'll do. He'll agree to that all day, because for him it's all about, well, if I do this for you, then vote for me. It's definitely not about the people, because he doesn't care about the people. If he cared about the people, we wouldn't have about almost nearly 200,000 people dead from coronavirus and a whole 4.5 million people infected with coronavirus. On top of you reopening schools, you had the University of North Carolina open, and that was the first university to open, person-to-person schooling. And within a week, they have to close down and talk about, no, we're going to retract that and now do learning via internet or what have you. Why? Because when they opened the doors, already off break between day 1 and day 2, they had 10 cases of coronavirus. 10 cases in a week went from 10 to 130. Now we went from 10 to 130 cases within a week. Now just imagine those 130 students. Can we count how many times or how many other people those 130 students came in contact with? No, we don't. So therefore, that number is a lot larger. Sometimes 3, 4, 5, and 6 times as large. So like this is dire. Like there is no other thing to do here but vote. Like that's it. There's no other alternative but to vote. Even with them pulling out the post office boxes, you're gonna say they stopped now, but they've already been doing it. They've been doing it so long to the point where now it came out and open. So it's like, oops, you caught me, but you've already done some. You can go in some neighborhoods now and see that there's no mailbox because they've already taken them. So again, we're at an impasse. And it's like your life or what? Or what? Do you think that these the death of one of the Black Lives Matter presidents and the death of the Young Democrats of Maryland president is a coincidence? I don't. It's unfortunate, yes, but they'll do anything to shut down a voice if the voice gets too loud. It's just so, and it's so unnerving when people, have to pick apart a candidate. Like we have to pick apart Kamala Harris. Let's be very clear. Kamala Harris will only be president if something happens to Joe Biden, right? God forbid, right? But, of course, before then, Joe Biden will be the president, period. So we, digging up and talking about this woman so horribly, about, oh, she slept her way to the top. Oh, she did this. And let me get on that first. Her sleeping her way to the top. I think this egregious, and there should be no woman, Republican, Democrat, Independent, repeating that verbiage at all. I don't care if you got Trump drawers on and you go hard for Trump. No way, no woman should be repeating that verbiage at all. No way. Because how do you degrade someone's drive, influence, and all those things, education, to merely, oh yeah, she slept her way to that position, demeaning everything that a person has done to just sleeping with someone? And yet as men, okay, they can talk about grabbing women by the pussies and all types of and it's cheered like, oh yeah, it's fun. He talked, you saw what he was there with Epstein, right? He'll sit there and say, oh no, I didn't know Jeffrey Epstein. I think I met him once. I'm not sure. He's met him a few times. And I'm sure, as some people used to say, birds of a feather flock together. I'm sure just as much as he was looking at young girls, Jeffrey Epstein speaking, much as he was looking at young girls, I'm sure Trump was looking at him too, and others like Bill Clinton and whomever else was at these places and parties and whatever this man was having. But that's okay. And it shouldn't be, and we should not downplay women to just being, oh, we know how she got there. No, we don't know how she got there. We don't know how she got there. She had 2 parents, one from India, one from Jamaica. We do know that. We know she worked hard. We know she went to Howard University from there. She went to law school from there. Like those things we know. And yes, her being a prosecutor, yes, she has to prosecute. She does. Now, the prosecution rate did go up maybe, I think 2 or 3 years after she became assistant district attorney. But we don't know, in fact, if every person she convicted was a person of color. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, no, she probably convicted an array of people. I don't think she was sitting there talking about some, oh yeah, give me all the black people. You know, like that's ridiculous. I'm someone who, when she first got in the door, okay, she was highly involved in protecting women who were involved in prostitution, sex trafficking, crimes, all those kind of things. She was very protective of the women who were saved and all that, getting sentences reduced for people who, you know, kind of walk the street at night, you know, and all that kind of stuff. She was an advocate on that. So to demean her in that way is totally, totally false. And this whole thing that they're cooking up again with this whole, she's not American, at least I heard that. I don't know if it's true, but I heard, come on. I can't. I really can't with this. Like, it's racist. It's racism, period. And we need to start calling it out. Forget about waiting for them to say it because they don't want to say it. They're not going to. They hate saying it. They like doing it, but they hate calling it out. Like, you can't call them a racist, but you can sit there and watch them do and say racist stuff, and it's okay because they ain't really said, get out of here, call it. I just, you know, at this point, I am just like, I can't anymore. But overall, the convention was nice. Like I said, in the beginning, I was a bit like, this better pick up some steam because it was almost like, you know, as we do on StreamYard and stuff. And it was like, okay, all right, okay. Yeah, we know. I know he's bad. We all know he's bad. He's been bad. He's been a horrible president. There's nothing, you know, what else are you saying? Then it started to pick up steam and I was more like, oh, okay, cool. I'm starting to get into this. So now let's move on to this new reporting that dropped today. The bipartisan Senate report that came out today, basically confirming that Trump and his campaign was definitely in on getting help from foreign countries to win this election. Now, of course, it don't take a rocket scientist to figure out if you didn't think you was going to win, how else would you have, what else would you have done? You would have reached out to anybody who was willing to help you win because initially you think, I don't have a chance. There's no way I'm not going to win. So I'm going to go get help, ask for help. And people answered back. The people that answered back, Russia. Why did Russia answer back? Because he's already been to Russia trying to get a Trump hotel in Russia. He had some Russian friends that were friends with Vladimir Putin. And so they knew what kind of appetite he liked. Okay, so all that stuff in the dossier that he claimed was false about the women and him peeing on people, it's all true. It's always been true. It's always been true. But the fact of the matter that I have a problem with is that the Senate is not speaking up about it. Republican or Democrat, wrong is wrong. And if you're so much on this thing of, oh, being a patriot and American, then call it out. And the fact that you sit there complicit and silent in it, then you should deserve to go too. And that's why I say this November, whenever the hell we vote, which it should be November 3rd, but who knows the way this thing is going, that if your senator is up for re-election and he is a Trump supporter of any kind, get him out of here. That's all I can say. Because I can't see it. I really cannot. I really cannot. There is no way, because either if the Senate stays Republican, even if Joe Biden wins, what the Senate will do is knock down everything that Joe Biden will try to accomplish. And that's not helping the country either. Because what will happen, God forbid, if Ruth Bader Ginsburg or anybody else on that Supreme Court happens to pass, you watch and see if they allow Biden to make a choice for Supreme Court, because they won't. So I'm just saying we definitely need to be very, very mindful of that. Hold on one second. Sorry, I had to get some water, guys. So yeah, we definitely have to be very, very mindful because it is happening. This is a definite no turn back, no let's think about it. Again, as I've always said, this is like buying a car, right? It's the particular car you want, you like the car, it may not have navigation. Hell, it may not even have power windows, but it has everything else. It may not have a sunroof, but it has everything else you want. Are you not going to get the car just because it doesn't have a sunroof? Or are you going to get the car and say, hell, with the sunroof, I don't really need the sunroof, or I would like to have the sunroof, but I don't have it. Maybe if I get some money, I can put one in later. Like, I really don't get it. Like, let's get with it. And all these little, let's do away with the payroll tax for the moment so the American people could have more money in their pockets, in their checks. Okay, that's only for people who's actually working right now. With 15 to 16 million people out of work and collecting unemployment on some degree, who's that payroll tax serving? So then I'm not, your stimulus shouldn't be your vote. Hey, welcome everybody who just popped into the room. Sorry if I missed you, but I was just rambling on. Hello. So yeah, that's just where I'm at. $400 payroll tax won't get my vote. Yeah, and it shouldn't. It really shouldn't. It really, really shouldn't. Hey, what's going on, sir?
Hey, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. Just worked out and showered and all, so I'm a little moist, but
You're a little glistening.
yeah.
How are
I
you? What's
figured I'd
going on?
stop by and say hi.
Thanks. Appreciate you. Thanks for stopping by and saying hi. How have you
I
been?
heard you talking about Kamala, and now you were talking about Trump's campaign getting help from foreign areas,
Yeah,
which
they
we
just
already
dropped.
knew. That's not a
Yeah.
surprise.
Well, I mean, they've been denying it for so long. Talking about the Russian dossier, the dossier that was sent from the British intelligence was false and all this other kind of stuff. But I mean, of course, people that follow it and was really reading it figured that it was pretty much true. Well, I mean, there's no reason for that man to make it up, because some of the
Yeah,
stuff was very detailed.
yeah.
So,
One thing, one thing I have noticed is the more that whenever I get on YouTube, there's always an anti-Biden campaign. So I'm like, damn, is YouTube in on it too?
oh yeah, I think they all are. Well, we know that from a
We
lot of
know
stuff that
Facebook is.
I pulled. Right, a lot of stuff I pulled. Facebook is wholeheartedly in on it.
Yeah,
Wholeheartedly in on it. As much as they try to act like they're not, Facebook is in for it. Facebook is all in. They get money. They take away videos and then bring them back. So they're playing the game too.
making
Facebook
fake
is definitely
profiles
playing.
from Romania and
Yeah,
having them post
yeah.
them. That's
The
that's
bots, the
crazy.
Romanian bots, yeah,
That's
it really
ridiculous.
is. And pumping they're taking over a lot of the Black Lives Matter things, and kind of deterring a lot of, well, trying to deter anyway, a lot of the black vote. You have Kanye, just unnecessary things. The removal of the post office boxes, Now they're talking about he's stopping it, but he's already done it. They've done it. They've been doing it for months now. So they got a chunk of, the mission that they were trying to accomplish before. Oops, they got caught. So then they had to pull it back. So, I mean, I don't know.
It's like he's going great for someone who is so confident. He's doing great lengths to make sure that either people don't vote or they're heavily deterred. Like if you do want to vote, it's going to be a hassle just to go vote.
Yeah, I mean, because that's how he operates. It's almost as if you did it the first time, you got away with it. Hell, why not do it again? And this time,
you're in a hot seat.
But this time you have more things at your fingertips to use in order to help you. Yeah. So, truth be told, I don't really need the Russians to help me, even though they still are. I don't need them to help me because I got this one in charge of this department, that one in charge of that department, this one in charge of that, to cover stuff up, not report it. Like the post office. Prime example, you have seniors not able to get their medicine at all.
They don't care.
No, I know they don't. But he'll sit there and say he's for the seniors, he's for veterans, and all this other kind of BS.
And it's funny, all those same veterans that voted for him are the same people that are not getting what they need. And it's just like they don't see this. They voted for this man, and now he just doesn't care.
But it's always about voting against your interests. So if I can make you believe that you'll be better off voting for me because you look like me than voting for them because they do this, they do that, and it's like, yeah, why not? And it's been, since he's been in office, it's really been hardcore, them and us, mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So, and these people, they could care less. Some of these people live in worse conditions than you and I, but they still will sit there and go, I support Trump. How, with no teeth in your mouth? How? You ain't had a tooth since the tooth had you. How do you feel that you are getting, no, nothing, but you'll go to the social services and get your SNAP or whatever, and you'll do all this and still turn around and be like, well, Trump's helped me do XYZ. How has Trump helped you do that?
He didn't help you do anything. Especially he's been trying to cut all that stuff. He's been trying to minimize it as much as he possibly could. So I don't. Yeah, and I mean, how is that helping?
I mean, he's doing a good job. So I just think it's really it's really important. And like I said, if we continue on this path, the Supreme Court will look different. The federal courts are already looking different because of the simple fact that Mitch McConnell, with his turkey neck ass, has already been removing federal judges and putting people that even the bar association of these judges, particular states, are saying like they're not even, or lawyers, like they I don't know how they got a bar license, but they're not even qualified to be federal judges. And I recommend that you don't elevate them. And he's elevating them anyway. So
we already know how that works. It's about who you know. These are friends of friends of friends.
Right, I understand that, but at the end of the day, these things hurt us the worst because, it takes a while for things to get to the Supreme Court. Okay, so they can bounce around in federal court for years before sometimes the Supreme Court gets to see it and go, well, no, this ain't right. And then depending on how the Supreme Court is stacked, they may say, hey, you know what? We like it. Keep it going. You know what I'm saying? And this could go from voting rights. This could go for a women's right to choose. We could, talk about a whole bunch of things that could be affected with another, anything past November 3rd, okay? Yeah. could really be detrimental to any one of us. It's a shame that we still even have to talk about Voting Rights Act. What?
Yeah, you're right. It shouldn't even be a thing at this point.
But no, they will do anything to diminish a vote that they claim doesn't matter. Oh, your vote. Oh, my vote don't count. How you figure they move in hell and hot water
And that's what kills me. All these people say my vote doesn't count. You do realize that it's not, if it's not a vote, then it's a vote for the other side, right? Like you don't, like there were so many people when Trump and Hillary were going back and forth, and they're like, "Oh, I'm not voting." I'm like, "Okay, well, that's another vote for Trump." All right, just taking a mental note. Like, okay, well,
right.
all right.
And that's a whole nother thing too. Don't let me get on that. Please, if you're gonna vote for, and this is going to a lot of the white women who voted for Trump last year. If you're gonna vote for Trump this year, then just come out and say it. Don't do no BS like, oh, Biden, 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 Biden. And then when the data comes out days after the election, we find out like we found out in 2016 that all these white women voted for Trump. So
All because they didn't like Hillary, and I'm like, okay, really? So you don't like her, so you vote for a man that'll happily just come up and grab you by the pussy? A man that wants you back in the old days with Bessie, with Aunt B,
well,
and
they liked his strength. Let them tell it. Liked him strength and how strong he was. How do you where do you see strength in that?
He
Someone
not strong. His wife won't even touch him. She don't want their
right,
hand.
that part.
She be no.
she's like my dress. But I mean, it's ridiculous at this point. It's like he's a chauvinistic pig, and I can't see how women first and foremost could sit there and actually vote for this man. I couldn't see it in 16. I don't care how much you didn't like Hillary. I just didn't see it. It's like, what are you saying? Like, what are you saying to your daughters? What are you saying to your sons? What are you saying to the people that look up to you? Even if you don't have children, what are you saying to the young influences around you when you can be comfortable in voting for a man like that? Like, that's ridiculous. That is truly ridiculous. But hey, what can you say? It's sad that people say, oh, I was more about his policies. No, race played a part in it. And don't get me wrong, there was some of us too that was on the race train. We still are. You know what I'm saying? They're quick to be like, no, I like his policies. Well, what can he do? Oh, he did prison reform. Where? First of all he did was take a little bit of what Obama did and go, okay, and let's finish that. However, the little details in his prison reform, he changed them. Okay. Once he let that, whatever that black woman's name was, free, that Kim Kardashian was championing. Once he finished that photo op, okay, then the stipulations of this prison reform bill got a little, cross this out, this here, that here, the same thing he did with releasing the prisoners due to the COVID-19. A lot of other prisoners were supposed to be released too. That didn't happen. Why? Because he only released some of his friends. And then once other prisoners started to realize that, they were releasing people, a lot of people, tried to apply and they changed the rules. So that's always the game here. It's like you have a set of rules, you state it to the people so everybody can be like, oh yeah, we're doing this. And then you quickly, behind closed doors, you change the rules. What like, it's too much. It really is too much. I mean, we have an economy that just now, we surge up the stock market to 1,000 points, and we supposed to be in good waters now?
No. I mean, I did saw, because I have Robinhood. I was like, oh, my money went up today. Like, let me get on Google. What happened today? Because I check every day. I'm like, what didn't happen? What money went up?
Right, but realize that happens when other things happen. Like people watched the DNC thing and they start thinking, okay, you know what? Maybe it's looking hopeful. Things like this make the market go up and down. It just does, he could give a terrible speech tomorrow and it'll drop. You know what I'm saying? Because it's very uncertain. So, I mean, people watched it and, it rose the stock market up a bit. All right. But people are still out of work.
Right.
with
Oh, you know
no
what?
clear, huh?
I meant to ask you something. This is kind of a shift of a topic.
Uh-huh.
There in one of the anti-Biden videos, because I happened to watch one because I'm like, you know what? Let's see what they're saying.
Uh-huh.
One of the things that they were saying was how Biden was going to increase taxes, and I'm like, okay, well, if this is to fix the deficit, then I mean, how else are we really going to fix it? So I don't really understand how that can be an issue sometimes. Like when it comes to tax money being taken out of my check period, it's like, okay, where is it going? Like,
Mm,
is it going towards fixing the roads because they desperately need it? That's fine. I don't mind. Take, $5 here, take $5 from everybody. We get clean, we get better roads. I'm okay with that.
right.
You taking $5 to, well, kids don't get free lunch now because they're home, but I'm just saying when school was still in, if you taking $5 so everybody can get free lunch, okay, whatever. I don't have
Mhm,
children yet, but when I do have children, it's like, okay, I would want this. So
mhm.
like, is this actually what happens, or are they just taking the money and holding it somewhere?
Well, I mean, that all depends on the administration. This guy, I, cutting taxes usually doesn't benefit us, unfortunately. We kind of
Mm-hmm.
always get the short end of the stick. Usually, tax cuts always benefit the people that make the most money because that whole trickle down thing. They tweak it, and every administration kind of tweaks it and twerks it. Tweaks it and twerks it. When they're in office, depending on uh, what they want to cut and what they want to increase. So they may increase certain things, certain taxes, and decrease others to kind of balance one out the other. But like with this particular tax cut that this president did, it was a tax cut to the wealthy. However, the people that's going to pay for it are people, everyday working people.
Mm-hmm.
So places like, you know, Walmart and Kodak and all these other places got these huge tax cuts. Yet when you do your taxes next year, it ain't gonna look so pretty for you. But you'll be paying for that cut you gave them. And some
Right.
people did see an increase in their, some very few, but some did. But I mean, again, you'll be paying for that once everything starts back and you go to file your taxes again, and you like, dang, what I owe? How I owe if I ain't work half the year?
And
Oh, yeah, you
I'm
gotta
kind of
pay
worried
that.
about that too. When we do go to file taxes, are these little relief things gonna take our taxes? Like, how's that gonna work?
Well, there was somebody in Jay Wilson's chat who deals in finances, and she said, I forgot the woman's name, so please forgive me, but she was saying that no, it wouldn't affect it. However, if you made a certain, like if you made over whatever the amount was, I'm not particularly sure what the set amount was, but if you made over that, then it would be a tax, and you didn't get a stimulus check, it would be a tax credit to your tax bill when you paid your taxes. So it would
Mm-hmm.
be added as a tax credit. So if you owed when you filed, if you owed, you'll have a tax credit of like whatever was $1,200 or $1,300 or whatever
Mm-hmm.
um, added to your thing. So I mean, but then again, we shall see when everybody goes to file, because again, he changed a lot of tax codes immediately while he was in office. So if they get changed back, you know what I'm saying? When he's not in office, we don't know. So I mean, it's always kind of like because you sometimes you have to raise taxes. It's almost like revenue. You put people in there. You can't have the taxes too low, because too low you don't really get any return. So you have sometimes taxes are raised to kind of boost the economy and get stuff going. Sometimes,
Mm-hmm.
however, I'm not an economist, so I can't really say. But however, sometimes um, taxes can be tricky because they try to give tax breaks to the corporations overseas so they can come back and have employment here in the States. However, sometimes a lot of times that does not work because everything is too much. You paying employees too much when you can pay somebody overseas a lot less. Facilities are too much when you could, have a whole big complex paying a lot less rent than you would be here in the United States. So it's a lot of factors that kind of play into that. But the businesses know how to, use it and go through loopholes and all that and find a way to make extra money off the government increases that they get anyway. So it gets to be really ridiculous. Like, can we just have a straight tax code? Like, even if Biden was to put Elizabeth Warren as treasurer and like the likes of Bernie Sanders with his taxing the 1% and all these people that he was actually, on stage debating with and had everybody doing their own little thing that they wanted to focus on. I think that would be a great idea because, hey, the rich do make a hell of a lot of money. You got Walmart making tons of money, even during the pandemic. You got CVS and Walgreens and all these places making tons of money. And these pharmaceutical companies are making a killing, right now.
So
yeah, they need to be thinking.
When, let's just say, well, let's speak it into existence. So when Biden wins, is it possible for him to take all the Democratic nominees and put them all within his cabinet?
Yeah, he can. That's not a thing that he can't do. He can do that if he chooses.
I mean, if we want to get stuff done,
personally, I don't think all of them should be. I mean, I think very few, off the top of my head, I would say Cory Booker,
Sanders.
I would say Sanders, Cory Booker. What's his name? Andrew Yang. I would say what's the other guy's name?
I don't remember them all. Please forgive me.
I don't either. Right off the top of my head right now.
The biggest ones that made headway were Kamala, Cory Booker, Elizabeth Warren, Bernie Sanders. Pretty much the ones we named.
Yeah, but no, there's the other white guy. Oh gosh, what is his name? The business guy. Shoot, not Andrew Yang. That's the one but the $1,000 thing is cool too. And Herman Cain.
I don't think Herman Cain.
I'm not playing with you, Nate. I'm not playing with you. I'm not playing with you. But yeah, I think that definitely he should put a lot of people in his cabinet. I don't. Some of them people, like the lady from Hawaii, get her out of here. I think she's a Russian bot. I don't want to see her nowhere near the White House at all.
Mm-hmm. So I think ideally, if let's just say when he wins again, speaking into existence.
Oh, Tom Sawyer, yeah, Tom Sawyer.
Sawyer.
Yeah, Sawyer.
I was gonna say, wait, from the book.
Yeah, from the book. Yeah.
Huckleberry Finn.
Yeah. You said, where is Beto? Beto should have been in Texas with his old slow behind, running for a Senate seat instead of trying to be president. God damn it, that's where he should have been. But anyway, I digress.
So I think that'll be the best way to get stuff done. If all of those Democratic candidates sat down and said, all right, you're in this, but again, what you were working towards, give it to me and we'll see what we can do.
No, but I think what I think he should do, I think he should have everyone focus, like whatever plan or agenda or platform that they were focused on, that they were like big on, like say Andrew Yang, for example, when he was talking about the $1,000, whatever. And now I'm just, hypothetically speaking, that if he was like, okay, come up with a platform that this can work solid. Mm-hmm. Get your team together. And if you can make a proposal that can fit and work for every single American, but you could have, I'll let you have this kind of, whether it be, whatever he decides, treasury or whatever, to focus just on doing that. You know what I'm saying? Just on rebuilding and structuring that part of his platform, right? To make that work. Then you got somebody else. Say Cory Booker was like, "Oh, I want to do HUD because I have this platform for HUD that would not just have people of color or black people in low income places, while the white people in the same program get to go to the high rises because they claim black people don't like to be in high rises. Who don't? Who? We've watched the Jeffersons. We know what the high rises.
Right, the deluxe apartments in the sky.
Right. So, I mean, it's ridiculous. But yeah, I think it really should. I think it should definitely be focused on the strong suits, like Elizabeth Warren. If her ass is not a Treasury Department chair, part of something dealing with that, I'd be like, yeah, Biden, you got some splaining to do, like right in Pennsylvania, like on the door, knock, knock, knock. Get her, please, now. Regulating all these people. And that's really what they're scared about. They are really scared that these people that have these ideas that are really powerful will kind of restructure their way of how they can dip in one candy jar and dip in the cookie jar at the same time, and then be sitting at the time, what money? I didn't get any money, while they sprinkle it in their small businesses, which basically covers the big business. So, I mean, yeah.
You already know that's going to happen. As soon as Biden get in office, they're going to get subpoenaed, and they're going to be sitting in the couch, where the money? Hold up, grab it.
Right, but this is what I'm saying. That's why they need to, that's why it needs to be like a clean sweep. It don't need to be just Biden in office and, oh yeah, we made it. No, we need to go from like local on up. Everything needs to be gutted out. And if everything needs to be blue, then hell, let it be blue. However, I don't feel like putting Biden in office and leaving the Senate the way it is would be helpful, because they'll be able to block everything. You know what I'm saying? And we would go back and forth. We spent a whole 4 years with nothing done, because the Senate will block everything that the president will try to do. So my hope is that when people go out and vote, they don't just vote for Biden. They vote down ticket for everything and say, you know what? Let's just do away with a lot of these Lady G's, Lindsey Graham.
You just say it.
I love it. So funny. Lady G. Stupid. But like the Lindsey Grahams, and but he's not up for re-election, is he? Jim Jordan. But if he is, the Jim Jordans, all these get them out of here. Out. And I mean, if Obama did, I would vote him in the Supreme Court, but he probably wouldn't, because that would mean that
so tired of everybody.
Well, that would mean he would have to stay in DC, kind of, sort of. And I think, Michelle is kind of over it.
They both were over it. As soon as he was done, you saw him vacationing and everything.
He did all that. You do have to. I mean, that's a lot. You see, he went from jet black to like, whoof, all the grays start coming in. So he needed to decompress. But I think he really likes, civic duty and social and, what he does. So it'd be kind of hard to tear him away. But I think he probably would tear away just for the sake of Michelle, because he cares about her that much. That, she's, rode with him and been his backbone for so long, that if she wanted him to say, you know what, no, don't take that Supreme Court seat because I don't want to be back in DC, I don't think he would. Matt Gaetz, yeah, all these people got to go. Matt Gaetz, all of them cronies go. Bye.
But again, that depends on the people. People got to pay
to
attention
to
local elections.
It does depend on the people. It really does depend on the people. And that means all the people, not just us, because we're, although we are a great people, in a whole lot of sense of the word, all of us, even if all of us did go vote, we're not going to move but so much. So, we need everybody to do that. So sometimes that means even talking to your less informed coworkers.
But even with that, see, like, you know how people they get into these political arguments online and Twitter and Facebook,
Oh yeah, them
and they,
gangsters. Yeah, they do get gangsters.
right. But my thing is, if these people think this way, your 120 characters or whatever, it's not going to change their mind. Honestly, you're just wasting your time.
Yeah, I
Because
mean, but
the same information that's in front of you is in front of them. So
not
they're only going to
necessarily.
see
Not
what
all
they're
the
going to.
time. Not all the time. Not all the time.
My point is, we all have access to Google, and
Yeah,
if you want to know something, you can know something.
no, we do.
People see what they want to see.
We do, but the issue is too, though. You know that these things like Google and all this kind of stuff, they track what you watch. So you know, and knowing that we know already that Rush is very much involved in looking at what we watch and kind of infiltrating into that kind of system. If they just sit there and watch Fox News, most of what they get are the same lies that they watch on Fox News.
Yeah.
Because a lot of that
right.
BS that comes from Fox News, I don't get that. I get it if I go to it and watch it or go to it to read it, but it coming in my
no. The only political stuff I watch is you. And whenever I watch you, I get anti-Biden campaigns. So are you trying to tell me something?
I'm definitely not trying to tell you that. That's a damn lie. No. Because it's definitely not anti, but it's because of that what I guess they feel I push is more democratic in nature. So of course anything that you pop on would have that. But no, I don't, and again, I'm not telling people how to vote because again, it's your vote, your voice. So you choose it to use it and exercise it how you choose. But for me, I'm just saying, if you just look at the situation and how the country is right now, there is no way you can say, well, he just needs more time.
No.
To do what? To do what?
No.
He was told about this. He was told about this possibly being a pandemic months ago and did absolutely nothing. Yet the same thing happened with Obama. 2 people died. He talked about he should resign. He should have a resignation. 4 people died in Benghazi due to Hillary Clinton. They sat up on the hill for like 16 hours or so, grilled her, constantly reopening that whole investigation the whole entire time. They were doing it on purpose up until Election Day. So you did all that for what? And then this man allows almost 200,000 people to die and almost 4.5 million people to be infected with coronavirus, and that's okay. An economy down now where we're like 16 million people unemployed with no assurance that they'll be able to go back to their same job when this is over or when we regulate this. Because
I'm interested to see how that even happens because a lot of places aren't even going back into the offices, and whoever's working is working, and whoever's not is not. Like
right, but they can't even have full capacity. So business can't even have full capacity at this moment. So that means some people will not have jobs. I don't care how much you like to change it around and be like, oh, well, we get back to work. How? You probably gonna have less hours than you did. So then how will you be able to sustain your way of life? If you're working
instead of 80 hours every 2 weeks, you're now at 40 because they didn't cut you in half.
Right.
And now, since you're part-time, who's to say you can even get health benefits at that point? So now it's getting deeper. Let me just
that's what I'm saying. But that's what I'm saying. But you see how you go, well, now then if I do that, then how is this going to affect? But that's how it is. It's like nobody's thinking about long term, what effect this will have long term. It's just like this quick fix that you just think, oh, you get back to work, everything will be fine. How?
Yeah.
How? The first school, I just talked about it. The first college tried to do it. The North Carolina tried to do it within a week.
None of that even makes sense. Why? If everybody is already shown that schooling from home has worked, why are we doing this? Why?
Well, because they just have a thing to prove. Like, oh, we're going to do it. We're going to be the first to do it. We're going to be the first to watch. We're going to show them how it's done. It's that ego. It's that,
Where are all these PTA parents? Those PTA parents that got upset because my son can't wear yellow pants, where are they? Where?
I don't know.
Like this would have been the perfect time for Karen and
I have
Janet and
no
all of
idea.
them to just pop up and be like, "Hey, we're not doing this." But no,
I
instead
have no idea
they're just okay
whatsoever.
with it. I don't know. It just doesn't make sense to me.
Of course, it would have been, but
Are you
did
talking to
I
me or
freeze or
somebody
you
else?
froze? Somebody's frozen.
I'm here.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
There you go. Huh? Okay. I don't know if I'm frozen or you're frozen.
No, I'm not
Oh
frozen.
no, it was frozen. It was frozen on my end. I don't know.
Oh.
Yeah. So that's it. I didn't really want to keep you long because I know it started at 9 o'clock and we're already at 9:12. And so yeah, I'm going to watch this thing.
Watch what thing? Did he mean to do that?
It kicked me out. Hi, sorry.
Okay, I was like, what happened? Don't leave me
Thanks.
alone. What happened? I'm about to start juggling. What you want me to do?
Yeah, I'm about to. If anybody had any questions, you can shoot them down real quick or pop on really quick if you had something you wanted to say or address. Because I know it's way past time, and I know I didn't want to keep you guys over the time because you guys should be watching the DNC convention, hopefully. But thank
I'm
you
gonna
guys
watch
so
it.
much for popping in. Thank you, Antonio, for stopping by.
No worries.
I love you. And thanks, everybody, for popping in. I saw that Conscious TV popped in. Hey, thanks for stopping by. Absol, what's up, bro? Thanks for stopping by. Who else? TC, I think I said hi to you. Armand Jordan, hey. Information, how you doing? Welcome. Thank you for stopping by and hanging out with us. Exclusively me, thank you. Nicole's Goddess, always a pleasure. Haitian Queen, you know you are the best, you rock. Tanari K, thanks for stopping in. Yeah, I think I got everybody. Anybody else? Oh, Miss T Velocity, I saw that you popped in. Queen Diva, I saw that you popped in too for a second. And thank you. I appreciate you guys so much. Thank you for all that you do. You guys are great. Now go watch the convention so then we could talk about it on Thursday at the gentleman's panel. So yeah, do that because we're probably going to be talking
This is
about
long. This is from 9 to 11. I just turned it on. Oh, this is going to be interesting.
Yeah, I want to see what Jill has to say about Joe.
That's Tracy Ellis Ross.
Oh, is she on there? Okay.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, go check it out. God bless. Good night. And I think Jay Wilson said he was doing like a commentary thing with it. So if you want to go over there, you go check that out. But yeah, I'm gonna roll out. Thanks, guys, for coming on. God bless. Good night. Be safe. Peace. Oh, it's not in.